This video is about tactics, and the current position is white to move. Try to find the best sequence in the position and write down your answer. You may stop the video now. Were you able to spot the continuation in this position? So we have to think tactics, right? But we also can keep in mind our checklist, our checks, captures, attacks. Do we have any checks in this position? We do. Would that lead us to a good tactic to find? Yes, so finding a knight c7 check forces the king to move to a7. And here we have to find the good move, queen takes a6. A forceful move because the king cannot really capture the queen because the knight is defending, but they can capture back with the pawn. After this, we have to find the double check with the knight on b5 and discover check on the rook. So they cannot just protect with the rook because the knight is also giving a check, and they cannot capture the pawn because the rook is also giving a check. So they have to respond to two things at once, which means that only they can just make a king move, and then we're able to give a checkmate with the rook on a7. The current position is white to move. Try to find the best sequence in this position and write down your answer. You may stop the video now. Were you able to spot the continuation in this position? So here we can think of any checks, captures, attacks, right? So we don't really have any useful checks, but we can go ahead with some captures. Here it would be good to just capture the rook with the bishop. And here if they don't capture the bishop back, we can just be winning because we have extra material, right? So normally they would just capture the bishop with the rook. And here we don't have to rush, but we need to find a very good move here, very precise. Queen c4. So we don't rush with taking the rook because the queen just captures and then we just keep playing chess, even though we're up material. But here, if we're able to find queen c4, it's very forceful here because now if the rook captures the rook, we can just capture the queen and we're threatening checkmate, and then also the rook is hanging. So here, if the queen grabs our queen, now we can just give a checkmate on d8 like this, like the follow-up. They have only move for them, it will just be to retreat the rook back and then just checkmate on the king here with the rook taking on e8, checkmate. The current position is white to move. Try to find the best sequence in this position and write down your answer. You may stop the video now. Were you able to spot the continuation in this position? So this exercise here is very tricky, so we have to be careful, right? But yes, we can start with our checklist, and in checks, captures, attacks, we do have a check here, a very good check. A check that actually forks the king, the rook, and the bishop. So it's a triple fork here. They would try to just defend, at least protect something in this position. And here we can go ahead and just grab the bishop, but we can actually try to find a checkmate in this position very forcefully by starting with queen takes h7 check. Only move would be, because the king cannot move anywhere, only move here would be to just protect with the rook on h6. And here we don't even capture the bishop, so we actually try to threaten checkmate here on g5. So only move would be to just cover with the rook, and now we go ahead with the check with the queen here on e5. Here they would just move the bishop. Why? Because if they were to move the king here to h6, we would just give a checkmate here on the king, protecting the whole thing here. Remember that our king is also covering some key squares here. So they would just give the bishop like this, and we don't even capture the bishop. We actually go with queen h8 check, forcefully having the rook protect the king, and then we just threaten checkmate again on g5. Only move will be to just protect with the rook, and now we get one of the final checks here in this position, covering back with the rook, and now we grab the bishop, forcing the king to go to h4, and then we just give checkmate to the king on g4 with queen g4 checkmate.